On this Wellness Wednesday, what women need to know in honor of Women's Health Month. It's a great reminder to women to make sure that they check in with their own health. And Dr. Priya Patel is here to help us do that. She's with Feminology MD, and she joins me with 5 things every woman should know about her health. Good morning to you, Dr. Patel.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm so good. Glad to have you back. You always give us the goods. So let's get into it.
Always a good time.
Come on. What do you wish more women knew or understood about their own health?
Well, I think Women's Health Month is a great time to prioritize our health, but really we should be doing that all year long.
Yes.
I think often women are told, oh, your labs are normal, so everything must be fine. But they have a myriad of symptoms. They're tired, they have brain fog, they just don't feel themselves. And I think, I would urge women to investigate further and don't just settle for I'm okay.
Yes, indeed. Do your own research.
Yes.
Lean in. The first thing you say women need to be aware of is their hormones. Why do you say that?
Well, I think, women often don't realize that our hormones often can shift in our mid to late 30s. The average age of menopause is between 51 and 52 years of age.
Okay.
Perimenopause is when hormonal shifts can start to happen. Actually can start 10 to 15 years prior. So that's an extensive period of our lifetime. We often think, oh, it's in your 50s or your 60s.
Right.
But it's often, these shifts are happening much earlier.
Well, that makes me think of, what does that say on your side car? It says objects are closer than they appear.
Yes.
Like, this feels very much closer than we think.
It's so much better to think that it's far away.
Yes, and yeah, you're right. And so tell me, because you just mentioned lab tests, being able to ask questions, leaning in, paying attention, doing our own research. I want to skip to, you say fatigue and low energy are a red flag. Why is that?
So I think, we often attribute fatigue or low energy to just life.
Right.
Oh, I'm just doing too much, I'm too tired. But they can often be a sign of hormonal imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, thyroid dysfunction, stress overload. And so you really do need to lean in and pay attention to those symptoms because they can be a sign of something deeper that's happening in the body.
So even though it's small, we should still pay attention,
Yes,
is what
absolutely.
it sounds like.
Yes.
You also say women should not accept normal, and I think you just said that. If it doesn't feel normal, it's not normal.
100%.
I
think we lean into our bodies. Women are very in tune with themselves, but then often when you're hearing external noise that, oh, it's normal, you're doing too much, you should be feeling tired, then we sort of start to internalize and normalize that and think, okay, well, maybe there's a shift, but maybe it's in my head. Maybe I'm not sleeping as well. Maybe, and really it's, if you're not feeling great, pay attention. It usually is a sign that there is something deeper happening.
Usually you are your only and biggest advocate, so if no one's going to do it, then you should.
No one is going to advocate for you.
Now, can I ask you, lab tests?
Yes.
Can you tell me what kind?
Yeah, so beyond basic lab tests, right? Typically you'll go to the doctor. They're going to check your cholesterol. They're going to do basic heart screening, basic body system functions. But you really want to, I think a detailed thyroid panel is important to check for thyroid dysfunction. You want to check for nutrient deficiencies, so really in-depth vitamin panels, looking for inflammatory markers to make sure there's not high inflammation or cortisol imbalance, and then even hormones when appropriate.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so let me ask you this. One thing we can enact, simple, that will change how we pay attention to our health.
I would say really it starts with routine preventative care. So routine screening, making sure you're doing your yearly primary care or yearly OBGYN exam, but then making sure that you're doing comprehensive labs as a part of that and not just sort of glossing over things, but making sure that everything in the body is functioning as optimally as possible. And then doing your routine pap smears, your mammograms when appropriate, colonoscopies. Your preventative care is your foundation.
Exactly.
And then beyond that, actually pay attention to how you're feeling. Your energy, your mood, your sleep habits, your menstrual cycles.
They all play into our health. Very
if you're starting to, don't wait until you feel really terrible to seek help.
There you go. And that's the main thing, and that is the main tip for the day. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Such a pleasure.